guys, welcome to another video. Welcome to yet another SI video, because that's what we do here. And today we have something pretty similar as we've had before, and yet different, if you will. If you guys aren't aware, that is my car right there. It is an 8th gen SI and sedan. This is a 9th gen SI sedan we got in front of us. Almost completely stock, and I will get into that. It is, again, almost completely stock wheels, stock suspension, other than it has a K&N short ram intake, the Typhoon. I've heard that's kind of a good one to get if you're not going full cold air. And it just has a muffler delete, so it's quite loud for a stock car. But 120,000 miles, it is a very clean car. And it's kind of a tribute for firefighters, wildlife firefighters, stuff of that nature. So it's kind of pretty cool. And let's just get a walk around of the car. This car has about 120,000 miles on it, around there, something like that. Maybe not even that, 118, something like that. Here we are here. And again, 4 disc brakes, of course, because it is a 2013. I will get to that as well. And it has slotted and drilled brakes back here for some reason. Previous owners did that. Not current owners at all. And as you do say, this is a 2013, which is the facelifted model. If you guys don't know, I'm going to try to put some pictures up. This is the facelifted model. And this is the 2012 pre-facelifted model SI. It's a lot uglier, more economical. I like the facelift a lot better. And because of 2012 was when the 9th gen started. 2011 was the last generation of the FA5 back there. 2012 they updated to a new generation with the K24 Z7. I apologize for that last video, guys. With the K24 Z7, and it just was not aggressive enough compared to the Volkswagens and the WRXs. It just looked really bad, so they updated the looks to this. This is a nice looking facelift. The sedan and the coupe were updated, but if you ask me, the sedan desperately needed it more. The coupe could have held its own a little more. It was still bad, but like the sedan needed it. And I mean, it really does look good. I mean, it's aged pretty well. It's pretty high up. It needs to be lowered pretty desperately. But let's take a look at the engine bay real quickly. And here we are under the engine bay of the 9th gen. Her name is Scarlett, by the way. And she is, here she is. Again, almost completely stock. It does have a stock downpipe back there. On the K24 Z7, it is considered a downpipe, as you can see in the diagram. It is an integrated setup through the head. It's very unique to this motor and very weird, if you ask me. The only thing that's done is there's a muffler delete, and it has the Typhoon K&N short ram intake here, which, I mean, I have heard is, you know, a short ram is not as good as a cold air, of course, but you don't have to worry about water, hydrolocking, anything like that. This is the one to get if you do. So she has that this little divider to help with airflow and all that stuff. I'm not sure how much it actually helps, but it's there. And if you can see, it has the plastic intake that these stock Z7s came with. Love it or hate it, it's here. It just means it's stock, you know what I mean? These plastic ones were designed for more low-end torque and mid-range torque to help boost that, and it sacrificed a lot of high-end. If you want to see a car with the RBC intake that is from the FA5, go a few videos down. There's another 9th gen video. It is a coupe, and it is tuned with a RBC intake, and it is a difference. There's a lot less torque in that one. This one is a lot more punchy, but the high end is a lot more to be desired. It did have a Honda data at the time, this car did, but I'm pretty sure the owner took it out and got rid of the tune once he sold the car, which is kind of like, yeah, you know, I would do that too. So it does need a tune. The tune is a little outdated. Sometimes it can be a little finicky. If we run into that problem on the road, I'll show you. But really, this is all it got. Here we are. I mean, it's really clean motor as well. There's no oil leaks coming from the sides of the valve cover, anything like that. There is some Honda Bond down there on the corner as well. So, I mean, just a clean motor. The belts look pretty good. Everything looks quality. You know, if you're looking at getting one of these, looking at the engine bay, make sure it just looks clean like this. You know, if there's a lot of just gross black and oil from previous times or whatever, just kind of like be cautious. So there's the engine bay of the 9th gen. Let's go onto the inside now. Let's first start off on the back seat here, just because it's the easiest for sure to like show you, because it's just super quick. Here we are on the back seats. They look like back seats. Let's get our Crocs in here. It's Sunday. Let me be. Not much room. There's nothing here. There's no cubby in the back seat here. There is on the passenger, just like the other SI. Nothing here. I mean, the seats are okay. They're just like back seats. There's no vents or cigarette lighters, anything. So if you have to be in the back seat here, it's kind of a punishment. But that's the back seats. It's a back seat of a sports car sedan. So what do you want? It's cool that it just has them for extra storage as well. Let's get into trunk space real quick. Here's this for you. You could pull for the trunk and you push for the gas tank level lever. Pretty cool. It's nice. Everything about this is just screams kind of quality, unlike, you know, Hondas of the past. Everything, it just has a nice feel and sound. Here's this, you know, the doors. You know, it just sounds good. It's quality. It's made properly. Trunk space here. Pretty good. I mean, that's a whole ass laundry tote, and I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there, and there's a lot of room left. So grocery getting is great in this, and with added torque from the K24, it makes it a breeze. It's not a struggle. Let's just get in here. Here is the inside where all the magic happens, if you will. And here we are. Don't even ask. I hate this. Not my doing. I'm sorry. Here we are inside here. It has a cool looking Honda like embroidery over here. I really like it, actually. Just proves that I did have Honda, but not anymore, which is a shame. But if you could tell, this isn't a comparison video to the 8th gen yet. I will be doing that one, but as you can see, it's a very similar design to the 8th gen with the dash, but it does look more mature. You know, it's had more time to mature and has more things. For example, let's just get this key going here. Again, it has the tack just like the old way here, the big tack with all the lights and everything up there. You have your VTEC, your fuel and your speed. Your blinkers would be up there as well. But there's also a little screen showing some information. And this is your little button here, your information tab. You press that and you can go through different menus. This is your gas mileage with an average of 26.9, and that's flooring it a lot. This is a menu screen of like error messages. This is your power screen, just showing how much percentage of power. It's kind of gimmicky, but it's kind of cool, you know, if you're into that stuff. And then your menu, you know, it's kind of yelling at them a little bit. And then there's a clock, and there's also a service light, and then Bluetooth. And Bluetooth does work. It's not just phone calls. It actually just works. It works with music as well, which is really nice. This is the year before. This is the 2013. This was the year right before they went to the touchscreens. So if you do want a touchscreen, you're going to want a 2014 or a 2015. I'm sorry. You're going to want a 2014 or a 2015. Because again, 2011 was the last year of that. 2012 was the first year of these ones, but they were the pre-facelift. 2013 was the facelift, which is this one, and it still had this. And then in 2014, it then had the touchscreen. It had a assisted camera for lane change as well, so you could see what was to your right in your blind spot, which is really cool. And then 2015 was the last, and I'm not sure really what they changed there, not much. And then in 2016, they went into the 1.5 turbo models. So if you're looking for the last of the true SI, get a 2015. That is the last newest SI that had the K-Series. And you know what? I think it's aged pretty well. There's a little holder here for some stuff. Up top, there is, of course, a moonroof as well. The cup holders are not as good as the 8th gen for sure, but they do a good job, I guess. It is a 6-speed as well. 3, 4, 5, 6, and then reverses all the way over past this gate right there, boom, and then down, and that's when you hit reverse. And then you got your center console, which can fit a good amount. There's a power outlet and a USB. Power outlet cannot power that much, just so you know. Otherwise, pretty clean and just a well-made car. Let's get into the driving portion, the fun part. What's it like to drive a 9-gen sedan every day? Alrighty, boys. Let's do this thing. Take a little quick, just very nice. The paint is so much nicer this gen. Like, you know, it just feels nice. I feel weird just rubbing on it, but it's just nice. And like, can we appreciate? These are nice. These don't move. All right, let's get in the cockpit, if you will. Nice little cubby place here with the aux there, aux cord there, and a cigarette lighter there as well. Just close the door on up. Key that I'm very familiar with, and if you have any like Honda of this generation, this looks familiar to you. And you get to hear what the a muffler deleted 9-gen sounds like. Not bad at all, I do gotta say. And if you do notice, there's no temperature gauge anymore. For some reason, I really don't like that they did that. I like knowing everything about my cars. I like knowing everything that's going on. Instead, it has a little blue, if you can't see that, there's a little blue temperature light, meaning that it's cold. Up there, it went away. As you can tell, that wasn't like a fully cold start. But usually the temperature gauge would be up there, but now there's a VTEC light and a shift light up there. I don't know, is it worth it? I don't know. So there are a couple check engine lights. There's two. There's a daytime running light that's out, and so the way the lights work, there is 2 lights in there. So like, these are the front headlights, and the big ones on the sides, the bigger ones, are when you turn the lights all the way on, like this. That's what those are. And then there's some smaller lights in the middle that are used when your big ones are off. Those are your daytime running lights, and those are also used as your brights whenever those other ones are on. And so whenever it's on auto and the daytime running lights are on, you'll get a little check engine light thing, because there's only one. And then the other thing is, there's something messed up with like the tire sensors or something like that. They need to look into that one, but it's not such a big deal. And again, there's little lights. That's the tire pressure light. That's what's all pissed off when I go to another menu right there. That's what's all mad. Got a little clock, Bluetooth, gas mileage. I was talking about that. Your brake light, and then you got your running light. I mean, those are your fog lights, and then your running lights up there. I'm not sure if you could see that, but I might be just pointing at nothing. But let's get going, shall we? And I'm going to turn on the AC because I want to have AC on. I never have AC on in these videos, but right now I really want it on. There is a reverse camera light, as you can see. Reverse camera light, reverse camera for reverse, obviously. What else would it be for? The clutch release on this car is so nice. Like, teaching someone how to drive manual in this car is super easy. It would be, not that I have, but it would be. Like, you barely need any, you don't even need any gas. Let's see, do we need gas? We might kill it, but let's find out. We might not even need any gas for the clutch. Let's see. I'm just gonna be letting the clutch out, no gas. That was no gas. Mind you, we're going downhill, but still, my EJ wouldn't do that. It would not do that at all. Muffler deletes, I'm not a fan of them. I love exhaust notes and everything, and I really like Honda exhausts when they are done right. You know, there's just so many that are done so poorly and lazily, and to be honest, this is one of them. Muffler deletes are easy and lazy, and I'm not a fan of them. They're always really raspy and really gross, and you know, this still is pretty raspy, but since it's a K24, it's the 2.4 liter. As muffler deletes are concerned, it sounds great. Like, for a muffler delete, it sounds really good. It's just really loud, and that's funny because it even has the cat still on the downpipe, because the cat is connected in the downpipe. It's not in the exhaust system like older cars. Like, even my 8th gen is the same way. The cat is on the header, not on the exhaust system. So yeah, it still has a cat, and it's still loud as hell. So if you're looking at getting a muffler delete on your Honda, I wouldn't. But look into it first, at least. Especially if you're getting this. Like, this is the most doable, best sounding muffler delete if you're gonna do it on a Honda at all. If you ask me, I don't know what he's doing, but it's definitely the most doable. The shifter feels fantastic, as every Honda does. Again, the Cummins shift knob, though, does take it down a peg. I hate it. But it's not my car, so it feels good, though. I'll give it that. It just... Heel toe is very easy as well. The pedal placement is still very good. And again, the shifter, oh my gosh. I mean, Honda for years and years and years have had the best shifters in the game. And it's good to know, even up to 2013, they still feel good. Let's do a little pull, shall we? This is very uphill, by the way, so... VTEC light come on as well when it cracks. It's such a different experience as an SI. Bam. $5,000 is around the VTEC engage rate. It's like 5,000 to like 5,200 RPM, something like that. And it redlines at 7,000. So it's a very not high revving motor, and that's, again, I've explained this in the other 9th gen review I've done, but I want to talk about it as you may not have seen it. You might have some new viewers here. It's just, a lot of people didn't like this motor. This is the K24 Z7, like I said, and it just wasn't a huge deal. And as you can tell, a lot of people make fun of it and say the light has to come on to show that VTEC is engaged, which is kind of funny because it's kind of true. When VTEC engages, it's not something you feel or really hear anymore. You just got to know it's there. VTEC in these ones were not super crazy because it's only on the intake side. It's only the intake cam engaging the treated this like a dead horse in my previous video. That's why many people didn't like it. But a lot of people, as I've seen in the comments, a lot of you guys commented, and thank you guys very much for that. A lot of people are just, it's growing on them, you know, head swap it if you don't like it. And if you do like it, who cares? Do what you do, you know what I mean? This block with a K20 head on it would probably rip. But I know many people don't do that. They get a K24A block and put a K20 head on it, something like that. But anyway, it's kind of being a dead horse at this point. It's still a K24 in an era where we just don't have that anymore. And I like that I get to drive this car now, because reviewing the 9th gen, my first 9th gen on Ryan's Coupe, for example, was a far cry away from what it is stock with that RPC intake, and it's very noticeable. Ryan's even has its very unique feeling still, but it still has that Honda feel. Sure, it has a lot of more mid-range torque than I'm used to, just being a 2.4, but it also had some pretty good high-end with that RVC intake and a Hyundai to tune. But this is a stock one. It just has a muffler delete and an intake, and it has no tune. It did, but it has no tune anymore, and it has that stock plastic intake manifold. This is a more true to form review of what the 9th gen was stock. And it's very weird. It's a strange feeling coming from an SI. Just being that, you know, SIs have always been that, like, all right, get up to speed, VTEC, slim, the next gear, VTEC, you know, that's not so much there. Instead, we actually have torque to get us down. Like when I was going up that hill, I mashed it and I had torque from 2,000 RPM, which is just a weird thing. Let's get into specs of the motor. This is a K24Z7. I'm gonna smash that in your head. This on paper is better than the K20Z3 in my SI, but again, it's not a comparison. And on paper, it's better. This has 201 horsepower to the crank and 170 foot-pounds of torque. And all of that torque, the max torque, is at 4,400 RPM, which is very noticeable. Around mid-range torque, this thing has crazy torque, and it just feels so strange. And that's pretty good numbers, and the gas mileage shows it. 26.5 miles a gallon average, and that's hitting it pretty hard. The owner said that she got 30 miles a gallon last tank average, and that was just like pretty normal driving, I would say. And that's so good. That added torque really shows a difference on just what it does for you with gas mileage, you know. My SI gets gets 23 pretty normally, and this can get 26 to 30. This guy is annoying. It just kind of shows that this is such a good daily. You know, you got your AC that we even didn't turn off for the pulls. We got a manual. It feels really good. The speaker has Bluetooth. The seats feel really comfortable. It just feels nice. The cockpit's nice and laid out, but there's not tons of stuff for you to look at and be like, what am I looking at? You can see what's happening. Everything makes sense. There's not tons of stuff where you're like, what do I press? This makes no sense. It's very easy. There's cruise control button there, and you can set it here, and we're on cruise right now. It's not adaptive because it's 2013. Cancel, there's the up button there. Cancel, and then your resume button is the same one as up. It's a very doable car, you know. It has the wipers, has intermediate, low, high. It's very easy. You know, your traction control button's right here as well. You got power windows, power mirrors. You got tweeters up there for your speakers as well. It is very easy for an aftermarket double din here as well. This guy is really slow, but it just gives me time to talk, I should say. But the shift lights up there are pretty tacky, but you know, they're fun. You know, you got an SI to have some fun with it, might as well. something to mention as well, there is no sport mode. Like, there's no button to put it into sport mode and make your steering tighter or your suspension tighter. This guy's frustrating. There is none of that gimmicky stuff, so it's cheaper for coilovers. You know, that is something to notice as well, because I believe 2016, when they went over to the turbo versions, those had like a sport mode, and those added like tighter suspension, tighter steering, and that stuff is cool, but it's really gimmicky, and it just adds more money when you want coilovers because there's more electronics there. All right, let's try it out. It's nice. It's weird having a torquey Honda. Wow. I thought Ryan's K24 was torquey, but this is weird. Really weird. And the red hang is still there from the 8th gen, for example, but it's way less. Way less. This is actually easy to smoothly shift, unlike the 8th gen is. That's impossible to do. So if you're worried about rev hang, don't be. And if you get on data, it's basically just gone, you know. This motor doesn't feel sluggish like the 8th gen does, you know. Like, I could just tap the throttle and it'll blip up on the tach, but on the 8th gen it's slow, so it's a lot more responsive. They've learned their lesson from the past gen. This is a lot more of a responsive, happy-go-lucky motor. Just so you know, the overrun is really loud. That's like when you get the muffler delete on this car, that is more loud than stepping on it, is the overrun. We're just gonna wait, but it's an overall, it's a really fun car. This would be a perfect daily, you know, enough to get out of its own way, has enough torque to get out of its own way, and with the torque, it has a lot better gas mileage. Like I said, it's more annoying to the people out there than it is to you. In here, the muffler delete sounds pretty good, in my opinion. I mean, for a muffler delete, you know, for like $50. But outside, those people are more busy. No, but for sure, again, I'm not gonna title this the most hated, because a lot of you guys said, no, which you're right. EP3 definitely is, but it got the clicks. But man, people sleep on this more. I think more people need to appreciate what this car for what it is. It's fun. Sure, it doesn't exactly feel like an SI. Like, it definitely takes it to different places, but it's so cool, and it's still a K series too. You know, cause kind of like the 1.5 is kind of like this in a way of like not real high revving, and it's torquey because of the turbo. But this is impressive in its own right because it's not turboed, it's all engine, and it's so much more of an open book. Do what you want, you know, head swap it, tune it on this, just do the intake manifold swap to make it for a better high end. You have a lot more leeway than the 1.5Ts, which is just like, all right, just add a bigger turbo, you know, put a downpipe on it, stuff like that. So it's like, you know, it's a lot more to do with this. It's more of a blank canvas, and it's still an SI, guys. So honestly, I want to hear what you guys think about this car. Again, would you daily drive this? Do you agree with me? This is a good daily driver. Would you daily drive it? Honestly, I would. I would love to turn my 8th gen into like just pure race car and make this a daily driver. It'd be really fun. It has the torque to do it and the gas mileage to do it. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed. This was another review. Peace out, guys.